Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Woman Up podcast, a place where we entertain, educate and elevate women on this life journey. And on this week's episode, I have Miranda Littlewood with me. Hi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. Actually, look, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't want that going off. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know you, let's just start with who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I'm Miranda and I'm originally from London, but I've moved down to Devon now. And yeah, I'm a yoga teacher and I have a clothing brand which is catered for, it's like adapted clothing for people with limb differences. So that's where I'm at, yeah.
Okay. I want to dumb things down a little bit.
Yeah.
When you say your clothing is adaptive for people with limb difference,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
So basically for people who were either born with or have like amputated with like one arm or one leg, and that's where it started. Obviously I would love to build it into more, but that's the base of it really.
Yeah. And with you, it's something that you were born with, right?
Yeah, I was born with one arm, yeah. So obviously that came with challenges when I was a child, and now it's become such a big thing. Like you have the Paralympics and things like that. So it's now becoming so common that you have all these clothing brands, and but even with all these adapted clothing brands, there's still not anything that I've seen specifically for limb difference. So I was like, oh yeah. Can I do that? And so that's been my journey for this year.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So before we jump into your clothing brand and everything, talk to us about your yoga journey.
Yeah, so I got into yoga because of my arm, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when I was younger, I had back pain, and everyone was like, "Oh, you should go to yoga," because when I went to the doctor, they was like, "Oh, here's some codeine," and I was like, I don't really want to take drugs for the rest of my life. And so people were like, oh, yoga would help, and it has helped. There's obviously another side to it, which is about mental health, and having one arm, it led me to having a lot of self-esteem issues and things like that. So I took a lot of drugs when I was younger and just had no self-worth. And when I found that's how I found meditation. And so linking meditation and yoga, it healed my mental health and my physical health. Now I rarely get back pain, but I know if I stopped doing yoga, and it would come back.
Yeah. So. What was the back pain from? Just because you have to
because you're always
readjust.
you're always twisting and one-sided. So you're my spine was twisted at the bottom, and I went to a chiropractor. I must have been maybe 21, 22, and he was like, your spine is, even if I go for a massage, they'll be like, and I'll be like, you can see my back, you can see my shoulders are offside, and that's all just because of having a limb difference. And when I talk to people who come to yoga, if they've got one arm or one leg, I'm like, have you got back pain? It's the first thing I ask. Or hip pain, and it's very, very common in people with limb differences.
Yeah. So let's go back a step with your story then. I know you said you were leaning on drugs, recreational drugs. I'm guessing. Yeah. Talk to us about that time in your life.
Yeah, so I just was about 17, and I met a guy, and things in my home life were very difficult. My dad was an alcoholic, my mum and dad were split up, and I was always backwards and forwards. And when I met this guy, I was like, wow, do you know what I mean? But he was a drug dealer, and it just sort of escalated really, and I just fell in love with going out, dancing, taking drugs. I loved it, and then obviously it would be a Tuesday morning, and it's this is not appropriate time to be getting on a sesh. And so it just escalated. And then when I was about 21, I was like, I don't want to live like this, because I was so depressed, and so it come to Monday and Tuesday, and I would just feel I just suicidal and just so bad. And then obviously all the regrets from the weekend, if I could remember the weekend, and all of that sort of situation. And it's I don't regret it, because it's led me to this point. But obviously I would highly influence younger people that is not the way to go. If you can find a healthier way to be, there's nothing wrong with going out and having fun, but when it's a Tuesday morning, it's not fun anymore. It's there's a problem.
Yeah. Do you think you were using that to mask like pain that you were feeling?
Yeah, like it was obviously having like low self-esteem and stuff, but also going through with my dad. Like my dad tried to kill himself, and then he did pass away eventually from like liver cirrhosis, and like having to watch someone you love like pass away in that way, it's very painful. And then just having a toxic relationship with all of that going on, I was just like, I just couldn't see the light, you know. I just couldn't see it, and I was just felt so dark. And obviously a lot of people around me were taking drugs as well, and it was like it was just become a normal thing in life. And I was just like, yeah, but when I wanted to stop, it was like someone was like, I'll try some meditation, just 3 minutes a day. And I thought, don't see how that's going to help. And and then but it did. It changed my life completely, and it led me on to going to India and traveling. And I did like a 10-day silent meditation, and that for me was the game changer, because I was like, I don't have to take drugs to be happy anymore. Like I found happiness. Yeah, it was just amazing. I think everyone should do it.
Yeah.
And then obviously that led on to like learning yoga, and then just healing, like the healing journey, you know. And now I want to share that with other people. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So the first person who was like, try meditation, were you just in a place of like, I don't know what you're talking about or how that would help?
Like I just did not like, I had no real clue of like anything spiritual, like anything like that. And it was like a day drug rehab center sort of thing, like one of those places. And they were like, we have a mindfulness thing, and I think you would really like it. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not really woo-woo, but yeah. And then I went, and it was literally, they would just make us sit on a chair for 3 minutes and just do like a really simple meditation. And after that, I was sold. I was completely sold, because I actually felt better just taking those few breaths, and I just felt amazing. And then I started doing like guided meditations at home, and it just sort of all fell into place after that.
It's good that you were at the rehab center though. I guess you were searching for something.
I wanted to stop taking drugs.
Yeah.
I just I could not continue, like, and I was young at this point as well. Like, really at 21, I was like, I can't live like this, because I would just take it, like, people go out and have fun, but I was just taking it too far. And I just was like, I can't live like that anymore. Like, it's really affecting my life, it's my health. And I just felt worse. Like, and it got to a point with me as well where I didn't feel like, I'll take drugs and it'd be like, I'm not buzzing, I'm not high, I'm just feeling thoughts, all the thoughts I don't want to think about, I'm just feeling that. So I was like, something's not working. I was like, and I need to find a way to be happy, really.
Yeah. Were you still with the guy at the time when you
Yeah,
went to
like
rehab?
on and off for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to Australia. I went to Australia to get away from the guy, and then like literally came back. He was like, "Oh, where you at?" I was like,
Oh my God.
babes. Yeah, it was really bad. But then after the 10-day silence, I just felt different after that. I was like, oh, I don't need this guy in my life anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Okay, so you did the meditation at the rehab center. That was the first time.
That was the first time.
And then what was like the next step from there?
Then I was like, oh, I want to go to India. I want to do this.
That's
10
like
days.
a massive, like,
yeah, it was a big jump. It was a big jump, and I just was so I knew it was like going to be extreme, and I was very nervous going into it, because I was like, oh my God, me and my thoughts for like 10 days. And it was hard. I must say, it was the hardest thing I've ever done, but the most profound. And it was a jump, but I was just ready. I knew I was ready for that.
Needed something.
Yeah, and I'm so glad I did it. I would do it again as well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what was that 10-day, like what was the routine? What was the schedule?
You like wake up 4 a.m, meditate a couple hours, have a break, meditate a couple more hours, have a break, meditate a couple more hours, have a break, and then you go to bed at like 9 o'clock, I think it is. And you sleep so good because you're just there. And like, I must admit, I didn't do the meditation like how they were telling you to do it for that long. Like the mornings were the best ones for me. And after that, I was just like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. But I did. I was like, I'm not leaving. I was like, I'm just not leaving. And I think by like day 6 or 7, I was very over the meditation, how they were teaching it, but I just took the time to just be with myself and be at peace with myself.
And it was silent, so you weren't communicating with anyone?
No. You could ask a question to the the facilitator if it's something important or something about the practice. But no, there's no talking. You're not even supposed to make eye contact with people. You're not even. And there was this one girl, she kept looking at me and smiling, and I was like, girl.
Stop smiling at me.
I was like, oh, my heart is with you right now. Yeah, it was just funny, But yeah, it's really good. I think having time with yourself
is so important.
It's so important. Like, I see, like, and now it's so funny to watch other people, and I'm like, you haven't even just taken 5 minutes to just stop, and it's all going on in there, and I was like, and I get very, like, I can feel it now. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. When you say you don't agree with like how they were doing it, or you were over it after like day 6,
like there's a system, like there's a way of meditating, like a system, and it's like it's very much like a body scan, and then it's like the way of their meditation. There's so many different types of meditation, like so many different types of yoga. It's like that, but I just couldn't do it. I think I was just so over it, and I was just like, I just want to meditate in my own way, because you're not supposed to be thinking. You're not, so and that's what human beings do. We think. It's just how our brain works. So when you tell someone not to do it, it just makes it worse, I think, sometimes. So I did it like for a bit in the mornings, and then after that I was just a lot in my thoughts and just trying to analyze myself, and that was not the point, really. But
but you got what you needed out of it.
That works for me. And someone told me before, like, be true to yourself, and I think that's the most important thing. Like, and that's kind of how the philosophy I have in my classes is, like, you can go to anyone, ask all the questions in the world, you can get all the advice, but if you're not listening to yourself, then it's irrelevant, because what's working for you is not going to work for somebody else. And that is really important.
Okay, so after the 10 days, what led you, like, where did you go from there?
So with this, I thought I was a new, fresh person. I thought I got it all figured out. Boom, I was literally coming back to work in one of the drug rehabs that I'd been with before. So I had it all planned, I had my whole life planned out. And I literally got to the airport, and they were like, your flight was like 12 hours ago. I was like, huh?
What?
And I'd never ever been in that situation before. So I was like, gosh, I've got to book another flight. So I booked another flight, and there was something off with me. Like, there was just a feeling when I got back, touched in London, something was off, and I was like, it doesn't feel right. I was like, okay, fine. So I was like trying different things, and the guy from the job was like messing me around a little bit. Like, I love him to pieces, but he was messing me around a bit. And then I was like, this is not going to work, is it? There's something here not working. And this was in 2019, like very late 2019. So I just, that feeling didn't go, and I was like, cool, I'm just going to go traveling again. Cool, like, where am I going? I'm going to the Philippines. Again, got to the airport. They wouldn't let me on a flight because it went through Russia, and they were like, you need a visa. And I was like, wow, I've traveled so much, and I've never been in these situations, so I can't get flights. Anyway, finally made it over to Asia. Went to Asia, boom. And then things were still, like, feeling off. I was like, why am I not happy? Like, I'm in paradise and I'm not happy. Like, something's going on. So I was like, okay, I still got my visa to India. Let me go to India. Touchdown in India. Couldn't find a room to stay anywhere. I was like, oh, my gosh, couldn't find a room. And I met a girl, like, a little bit before. And she was, like, in another part. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to come to meet you. This was now February 2020. So just before the lockdown.
So you were there for, like, 2 months or something?
Yeah, like, not in Asia. I was there for 2 months. I just touched down back in India. February 2020. So then I landed there, met this girl, travelled down, couldn't find a room. So I went back to the girl. I was like, okay, like, what's going on? Why can I not find anywhere to stay? I can't find flights, anything. And then, the lockdown happened, and I was travelling to Goa because I'd already messaged them about volunteering with dogs in Goa. And I wanted to do all that. And it's like, wasn't going to happen because my friend was like, okay, let's go south. And I was like, I've just been south. I'm trying to go up. And I went with her. And then that's when I met the father of my child. So that was all, like, I knew that was supposed to be, even though I didn't know that at the time. Looking back at it now, it was like, the universe was, like, guiding me. And it was like, I forgot a bit of the story. Can I, like, backtrack?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so, like, the day I came out of the 10-day silence, I met a guy in the hostel, and he was an Indian guy from Delhi, and he was like, an astrologer kind of thing. And he was like, yeah, telling me, yeah, you're going to meet a man, you're going to have a baby. And I was like, yeah, all right, cool. All right, yeah, if you say so. Like, all right, mate. He was like, yeah, you're not, like, just telling me little things. And I was like, and then literally it all came true. And I was like, yeah, it was funny.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're in India.
Yeah.
And then
Lockdown.
you met this guy. Was he from there? Was he also
he's
traveling?
Indian. No, he's Indian. He's from there.
Wow.
And it was locked down. Like, most people by that point left the country by that point, and everyone was telling me come home, and I was like, no, I'm staying here. It's nice, it's sunny, like, let's do this. I thought, like, we didn't know what was going to happen. Like, I didn't think it was going to last that long. Yeah. I thought, maybe like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so then I met him, and we were just like, cool, let's just have like lockdown romance, like a bit of fun, like, this is cute. And then I got pregnant, and I was like, Nice. I was like, well, kind of now's the time to do it. And I was like, I knew I was keeping this baby. Like, I knew that was for me.
How did you feel? Did you feel like scared or excited?
I was a bit overwhelmed because I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, I didn't really know what to do, but so I just spoke to him about it. So I sat him down. I was like, oh yeah, by the way, having a baby. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go now. He was like, no, just sit down. He was like, yeah, okay, I want to do it with you. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, we actually got married. So
you got married?
Yeah, we got married in India. Like, my baby was 3 months, and we got married, and like, yeah, that was cool. Yeah. So, and then obviously it didn't like last, but it was good in the moment. And he's like, we're good friends now, and yeah, I have my son, and yeah, it's been a journey. Yeah, it changed my life, because I was all like, I want to go and work with dogs in Goa.
I love it though. I love this story.
Yeah, it's just me, like, with this wild story. Like,
yeah, I did have a look on your blog, because you've got a blog like with all your travel adventures, I guess. And there was one article that was about like you being pregnant in India.
Yeah,
like,
it's horrific.
What was it like? Because I imagine, I don't know, like, I feel like when I'm pregnant, I would want like my mum with me and like certain people. So like, what was that journey like for you?
Well, I didn't realise it was going to be as bad as it was. And I think going back, I would have changed it a little bit. I was just vomiting for 9 months. Yeah. I couldn't eat anything. And Indian food, you know, I just couldn't even look at it. I was just like, it's going to make me feel sick. All I could eat was this dry crackers and plain bread and plain pasta. It was really bad for me. But I didn't want to come home because I didn't know if I would be able to get back there, because I really wanted him to have the bond with the baby, child, because I thought even if it doesn't last forever, at least they've got that initial bond, and he will know who his dad is, because that was something it just didn't sit right with me, just leaving. So that was more of a sacrifice for my son rather than what's comfortable for me, you know, especially in COVID. We didn't know what was going on, you know. Could I ever come back? Was the world going to be shut down forever? You just didn't know. Yeah. So I was like, and also his family was amazing. Like his mum, like to this day, we still talk all the time.
Oh, I love
she
that.
had my back. Like, she was like, girl. So she's amazing. I don't know if you know, like, Indian culture, when you get married and you move in with the family, it's like they just take you in.
Take care of you, yeah.
So, I love that. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah. Hey ladies, thanks for joining us here on another episode of the Woman Up podcast. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a moment to say, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please follow the channel and leave us a review. It really, really helps with our reach. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any episodes in the future. If you're feeling especially inspired, please feel free to leave us a comment or share the episode on your socials. I personally read all comments, and every share has a massive effect on our growth, so it really means the world to us. Thanks in advance, we appreciate you, and let's get back to the episode. So what happened with the relationship? Like, why did the relationship break down?
Oh, I found a younger model.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He found a younger
like, universe story, and now,
it was all good until it wasn't. Like, it was very, I think, like, because we met in the way we met, and it was like very quick and very fast, I think it was for him quite a lot and quite overwhelming. And I think having a newborn, like, our son did not sleep for like a good year and a half. Like really every 2 hours waking up, and that is a lot of pressure on a relationship. Like especially
a fresh relationship.
It's a lot of pressure. So I think he just needed his own, and he's just very like that, you know. He's a bit of, he's that guy, he likes to be like the man and wanted. So when he's in that pressure, I just don't think it was for him having that family thing. He just wants to be free, and I kind of, like, I'm happy for him. Like, I just want him to be happy. I would never want to have someone feeling like pressured to be with me. It's like, live your life, we can be good, like we can be friends. Like I was thinking to just stay out there and co-parent with him out there, but then like being single out there as like a single mum, I was like, oh no, I want to come back to England and do that.
What did his mum say when
she was like up? She was in shock, like, because the funny thing is, like, I knew when I was out there, but I didn't actually get the proof until I'd moved back to the UK. Like, even though it was like so obvious, I had no like receipts, and you can't, like, they just go, oh, you're crazy, you know how it is. And I spoke to, like, everyone I'd asked was like, no, he wouldn't do that, no, he wouldn't do that, no, he wouldn't do that. I was like, he's definitely doing it. And then, I came back. Someone sent me the screenshots or, like, the evidence that I needed. I got the evidence. I was like, I called his mum. I was like, did you know? Like, tell me now, did you know? She was like, no. And to this day, she's been loyal. Like that girl is off the scene now. But she was like, she's not coming in my house. Like, she's not coming. Yeah, so she had my back. So that was good. And, like, we're still, like, she still looks at me like her daughter. So, yeah, and I can still go there all the time. And I want to go, like, maybe next year.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how it plans out. But yeah.
Yeah. Have you been there? How old is your son now?
He's 3.
Oh, I love that.
So we came back a year ago when he was 2.
Okay.
I haven't been back since, but only because, like, I've been now trying to set up my own business with the yoga and the clothing, and he settled in, like, nursery. But I was like, it's very important that we go out there, like, yeah.
Does he talk to his family over there?
Yes and no. Like, he does, but I don't know if you know, like, 3-year-olds, they're not keen on the phone. Like, he's like, no, bye. And I'm like, oh, like, so I end up talking more to them.
Right.
But it's important. At least he knows he can, and I think when he's older, he'll appreciate that, because it could have been very easy for me to go, he doesn't want to talk to you, don't call me back. And I just didn't want to be like that. I was like, no, it's really important. You just keep calling. Like, there was a time I was like, you make sure you call.
That's good, though, because you're kind of like keeping that relationship there with his dad as well.
Yeah, you have to, I think. For me, I think it's important anyway. Yeah. Like, I know everyone's situation is different, but I was like, just because he hurt my feelings, it's not, doesn't stop him being my son's dad, and I'll always be grateful for him for that, and I'll always have some sort of soft spot for him for that reason. You know, like, he's the father of my child, and I don't really want to have another child with another man now after that. Like, for me, that's that, you know.
Okay. So talk to us about your yoga. Like, when did you do your, is it 200 hours
training? So I've done my 200 hours. I'm literally just about to finish my 500 hours, like, this month.
Wow.
Yeah. So I literally came back, like, in India I was doing yoga most of the time anyway, and everyone was like, you doing your yoga teacher training? And I was like, no. And I came back, I was like, oh, gonna do my yoga teacher training. So
you did
now.
your yoga teacher training
here. But it's like, my yoga school is like Yogamu, and like, my teacher, she's in India, but it's all done online, and I can do it in my own time, and it's just kept me so grounded. Like, having, like, adjusting to being a single mum, but having my own practice, I've just fell in love with it again, like, and in my own way now. So yeah, I can't wait to finish that and just have that. And then after I've done that, I'm going on to yoga therapy anyway. So, and I want to do, like, an adaptive yoga course as well, and just build on it. And also Ayurvedic practitioner. I don't know if you know what Ayurveda is.
I know a little bit of it. Yeah,
so it's just all about, like, natural healing, natural health, and that's what I like. My son has eczema, and I just use, like, aloe vera, coconut oil, tea tree oil, these sort of things, rather than a cream from a shop, which I don't even know what these ingredients are. So that's and I want to just do that for me and my son. But also I realized there's a need for that over here, because in India you have, like, so many different variations of like healthcare, whereas over here you just have the NHS. And I realized when I came back after all that time, I was like, wow, you can't get a doctor's appointment, you can't get in the hospital, you've got like a 12-hour wait. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, you actually need like an alternative healthcare over here. So I'm trying to build up towards that.
What is the healthcare like over there then?
Oh, you can have anything. So you've got from like government hospitals to like the most expensive Western hospitals, like and everything in between. You have Ayurvedic hospitals, like homeopathy hospitals. Like, just everything. There's all sorts, like something for everyone, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, over here you don't have this sort of choice. And I was like, wow, wouldn't it be nice if people could find something alternative and accessible as well, like even like, you know, the flotation tanks and all of these sort of things, like they're just so amazing, all these alternative things that are not promoted as much, and I think that's very important.
Was your birth like a natural birth?
No, I wanted a natural birth,
okay.
though. They don't do it in India. Like, I couldn't
really?
find a midwife. Yeah.
No way.
I was like, oh, should I just have him in the bath? Like, but like they were like, no, you're going to the hospital, and it was it was horrific. Like,
Why? What was horrific about it?
just everything. So like I went for like a not the most expensive hospital because you have to pay.
Yeah.
So I went for like a pretty like basic standard one because I didn't realize, and I was like very naive, and it was just like a table. It was like a surgical table, and like they literally. I kind of had in my head I want this whole natural thing, and my body was just suffering as well. Like I was in labour for hours and hours and hours. Then they induced me. I had no like epidural, no painkillers. Like it was very much like, here's an induced, and now here you're gonna push this baby out. I was like, I need water. They were like, you're not having anything until you push this baby out.
No way.
And they were like, yeah. I was like, it was bad. It was bad, and I was just like, oh my gosh, if I could go back and get a flight to England, I was like, you have to cut him out of me. He's not coming out. Like, and they were like. Couldn't really understand me. I couldn't really understand them. I was by myself because it's COVID. They wasn't let anyone in the room with me, and I was just like, I was like, please.
Yeah.
I was like, God, I need you right now because this is horrific. And yeah, my son just didn't want to come out, and they had to like break my waters and all of that. So it was quite horrific, and doing all that with like no painkillers. Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
No wonder you don't want to have any more.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm done with that experience.
Yeah. Okay, so when you came here, you started doing your 200-hour, and now you're doing your 500-hour. So how's all that going for you? Because you teach now as well.
Yeah, I teach. So I started teaching back in April, and I'm just I'm finding my flow. So I've got my online classes and my in-person classes, and I'm just finding my flow, and every teacher has their own way of doing it. So my style is more towards Hatha style, but it's my own variation, and then I like to put like a meditation on at the end for the evening. So when people leave, they're just feeling relaxed, and I want to bring people back into alignment with their body. Rather than it's not like the perfect aesthetic. It's like feel your body, feel yourself, do what's right for you. Because a lot of people, unless you've got like hypermobility, you're not like, you're gonna come in, if you're new to yoga, you won't be able to touch your toes. You need to like crack open your body and then put it back together and go. So that's where I'm working with, and just getting my people.
Yeah. And have you adapted like your teaching style to cater to people that have limb difference?
Yeah, so obviously it's easier for me to give those variations to people because if I have someone with a limb difference, she comes online, and then it's like, okay, great, so for everyone do this, and then for you can do that, or just find this way. And then and also it's just learning, and I say to people, just do what's comfortable for you. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it, and just learn like that. And it's just growing and building on it, really. And the adaptions, it's like having a block. There's also like a company called Koala, and they have prosthetics especially for yoga.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I want to get one of those eventually. But like is that you don't have to always do like use your arms as well. You can just do like seated yoga, there's chair yoga, so there's all sorts of different types for different people. And if someone wants to just have a chat with me about what they can and cannot do, then that's great. Or if I always ask before, like, is there any problems, and then we can just go from there. And it's just about, you're never going to have like one size fits all. It's always going to have to be like a variation for each person. So yeah, you just go with it, really. I do.
Yeah. Have you had to adapt a lot from like your teacher training for yourself even?
Yeah, like before I did my teacher training, I was doing yoga very badly.
Oh,
like in a
okay.
sense of like, I was just making up variations and it was bad. Like
Yeah.
I should have been a lot more careful. But obviously a teacher won't know if a teacher doesn't know.
live
You're
it,
not
yeah.
trained, especially in 200 hours, you're not trained for variations. You're just not. So yeah, I was doing things I really shouldn't have been doing. And then obviously having my teacher training, my teacher's been like, you need to do it like this. Like, she was as shocked as I was, and she was like, yeah, so she's been amazing just to help me to figure it out. So now when people come to me, I can help them figure it out rather than we're all just making it up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they go to a class and they just try and figure it out, because some people, they don't want to be a burden, or they don't want to have to ask, and they just like, I just can make it up. But having a teacher that actually knows, it makes them feel more comfortable. So I've just done a class with like children in America. They all have limb differences, so I just was teaching them, and I was in pieces. Like I was so emotional. I was like, this is healing my inner child. So yeah,
I love that so much.
yeah.
Are there like groups that you could do in the UK for kids as well?
Yeah, I'm looking into it now.
Okay.
So I literally was just I've offered, there's a charity called Reach. They've got their event this weekend. I just gave them, if someone wants to, like, they have a raffle, and I gave like a 1.5 hour private session to them to put in their raffle. So hopefully I can get someone through that. And I would love to work with more kids with like this, like limb differences as well, and just anyone that feels they have a limb difference and they feel like yoga might be for them. I would love to work with them.
Yeah. Also, especially because you were in a position as a child where you know, like, maybe the insecurities that they're having and like what they're going through.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Like my branding for my business, when we, especially with the clothing line, it was very much targeting younger people, like young, like 18-year-olds that felt different or felt outside. It was a more definitely aiming towards like building their confidence, building their health, physical and mental health, so that they feel empowered to live the best lives they can. Yeah, for sure. Because it can be hard, you know, like especially like you apply for a normal job and you don't get the job, you're automatically gonna think, oh, is it because I've got one arm? And you do, like I do, and it's just not a nice feeling, you know. Or it's like, oh, it's just insecurities, you know. And I know we all have insecurities, but when it's something you really can't, you were born like that, or you had an accident that made you like that, it can be tough. And we shouldn't have to live like that, especially in this day and age where it's all very much inclusive, you know.
Yeah. So how is your yoga style like adapted now? I don't mean like the way you teach, but the like who you cater for. Have you changed like your branding or?
Yeah, so I just really want to help anyone that might have insecurities or might have low self-esteem, and they want to feel them love within themselves, or like just want to find a different way, find a healthier way. So anyone who's, maybe if you've had addiction problems, and maybe if you've had like self-esteem issues or any physical disability, and you feel like, you know, there's a better way, that's who I want to help. Really, it's not limited to who, like it doesn't have to be one 18-year-old with one arm, you know. It doesn't have to be that, but it's so open, and I just feel like I'm just learning, and people who want that, they come to me and they just leave and they're like, oh my god, thank you so much. And I'm like, you know what, thank you, like, for allowing me to share this with you, you know.
So talk to us about your clothing brand.
Yeah.
The branding, how do you pronounce the name?
So it's a Kismattu. So it comes from the word Kismet, which is like it's a word used, and it means destiny. And it's in so many languages. You've got it in Arabic, you've got it in Hindi, you've got it in Dude, there's just so many things, and it's just basically such a powerful word. But Kismattu comes from my son's language, which is Malayalam, and it's his version of the word. So that's why I chose that, because he's been my destiny, and this whole journey, it was like, I know this is my path, and I wanted to keep that. Yeah, I get goosebumps when I talk about it.
I'm like listening and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
I know. And then a lot of people are like, oh, I can't say it, but it's like Kismattu. And it's like, yeah, I just love it. And I just think it's such a powerful word. And we all need to find our own destinies. But sometimes it's like, is it written or do we choose? And it's such an interesting question, and I couldn't answer it, and I don't know, but I just love thinking about it. You know, what is life going to be and stuff. You know, it doesn't all have to be dark. There is like light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And I found that, and I want to share that with others.
Okay. So with you do hoodies,
so
tracksuit bottoms as well,
yeah,
right?
I got hoodies and tracksuit bottoms now. I'm working on my second line. It's just all like in process. I don't know how much you know about the fashion industry. I had zero clue when I went into it. Very naive, but I guess sometimes that's for the best, because when you go into it, so you learn so much. Like I'm working with the Prince's Trust as well. So yeah, they're helping me, and it's just, my first line was just like, I just want to keep it simple, keep it basic, but I have so many other designs and things that I want to bring to life, but you have to start somewhere. And I literally was like, okay, that's my first line, let me finish out my yoga, and like, I'm one person. Like, so I'm very excited for next year bringing out my second line.
So do you design them, or do you work with a team?
I did it all myself.
That's amazing. You don't make them, do you?
No, I cannot do that.
I was going to say,
I designed it all on Adobe. I literally did all of that myself. Had no clue about Adobe before. I was like, that's a learning process in itself. So I was like, okay, here's my design. So I got tech packs. I've got 3 now that I was just like, okay, I'd have to get someone else to just like finish it up, because I was like, it's looking a little messy. So I was like, send it to someone on Fiverr. She did it. She did an amazing job. She just perfected it all. Then it's like, I can just send it to the manufacturer. I just found whoever, because obviously I wanted to get like low quantities to start with, and it's just very, it's I really wanted to work with a company in Portugal, but they were like, we're not going to do low quantities for you. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, so it's been learning curve. So we'll just see how it all plans out for next year.
I love that. So you can get like ones with the cut off arm on each side, or both, or you can get full length.
For the hoodie, you can get full length hoodies, just normal hoodies. They are done with magnets, but you would not even know they are magnetic. Like, it's like, just makes it easier than buttons. So they got magnets, you got the full arms, and then you've got the half arms, and then with the trousers, you got the full legs, and then the half trousers. I didn't do for both arms. I just wanted to like trial and error it, but definitely for my next one, it will be like both arms and then shorts as well, because there's also like people like with both legs missing, and then it's like also like wear, like some is up above the elbow, some is below the elbow, so it's all very different. Everyone, like, you cannot fit for everyone, but I was like, we have to just start somewhere and just grow and see where it lands.
Because I was wondering that when I saw your website, whether they were like custom made or you just have like specific ones for now.
I just have specific ones for now, and I was thinking I want to do a children's series. I was going to ask you about that. I would love to. I was thinking, it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
Yeah. Are there like big brands that are doing stuff like that for children? Because I don't think I've never really thought about it, to be honest.
Yeah, like you have adapted clothing brands, like Tommy Hilfiger's a big one.
No
he
way.
has one, he's got some, and I know there's like finding all of this stuff on like influencers. There's some influencers in America who are working with brands now. There's an underwear company, they have bras and adaptive bras.
Okay.
So there are things out there, but specifically for limb difference, I have yet to find any, but I'm open if someone wants to tell me any that I can have a look at.
So the ones that you're talking about that you've seen, what do they cater for?
a lot of wheelchair users.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they have like high rise with zips or Velcro and stuff like that, high rise trousers. Like they do have like adaptive with Velcro and things, and they do have things with magnets. But for limb difference, I've not seen it. You know, like this is more like with the 2 arms, or they have like shirts with magnets I saw as well. Like I saw a lot of things catered for like older people who might struggle. But yeah, it's definitely an up and coming thing. I was like, wow, it's $1 billion industry. Yeah, it's really becoming a popular movement now.
Yeah.
And there's people I found, like another girl who does underwear. Hers is called Clipniks, and she's like, we was like, okay, let's do a little partnership on Instagram.
Oh, I love that, yeah.
So yeah, we've been doing that, and I've just been reaching out, and people have been reaching out to me, and it's just been growing and thriving actually. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
There's definitely like scope for you to just like be owning that space.
Yeah, and it's just about growing it and bringing awareness to it, because it's like if people don't know, they don't know. And it's like I literally was just emailing the hospitals and stuff like that. I was like, here's my clothing brand. Can you put a poster up for me, please? And they were like, oh my God, it's amazing. I was like, yeah, thank you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your plans for like the next few years?
So coming up, I have like a 4-part series next month, and that's talking all things yoga. Like people maybe like, if they don't know much about yoga or have judgments, and all like well-being, we're starting our own little Facebook community, little group for like a virtual yoga and wellness space. And then I've got a course coming up in January, which is going to be exciting, a 6 weeks course, just like an empowerment journey through yoga and how you can find inner peace. So that's that. Then obviously my yoga therapy is coming up, so really excited for that, and just see where the space goes. And I want to start working with, I've got domestic violence team I'm going to be working with, and just like branch out and just try and help as many people as I can with what I'm doing.
I love it. Everything you're doing just sounds amazing.
Thank you.
What is yoga therapy? Because we didn't touch on that.
Yoga therapy. So yoga, if you go to a yoga class, you're more doing sequencing, like the asanas and things like that. But yoga therapy is using yoga to heal you. So if you have like sciatica or even depression or anything really, it's more in depth of the science of healing and being able to heal like condition A, B, C, or D, basically, rather than just I can put a class together. Yeah.
Okay. I forgot to ask you as well, like, how's life as like a single mum now that you're back in the UK?
I love it. I love it. As hard as it is, I'm not gonna lie, like it is hard. Like it's not an easy thing, but I love it. Like my son is the best. Like I'm away for 2 days. Obviously, I'm up in London. Like, and it's nice to have a break.
Yeah.
But I always hate leaving him. Like, I love holding him to sleep, you know, and he's just perfect. Like, my son is the best kid in the world. Like, he drives me mad, though. But, yeah, he's amazing. I think, like, you have to be, if you're going to do it, you have to know that your life is not your life anymore. Like, everything I'm doing and talking about, as much as it's like I want to help other people, my priority will always be my son. And having my own business, my own schedule allows me to be his mum and be the best mum I can be. Like, I don't want to have a job where I can't pick him up from school if he's sick, or I can't be there for him when I need to be there for him. Like, it's, for me, that's not negotiable at all. But yeah, like being a single mum, like in a one way I find it easier than before, because it's our routine and I don't have to think now of, like, I don't have to say one thing and then the other parent or other people involved are being like contradicting it. So I found that is a pro, but then it's like I don't have free time. Like I can't just nip on out. Do you know what I mean? I can't just like everything I do, it has to be planned and specifically, like, and even like he's with my mum now. But he's my responsibility, you know, and it's not, I wouldn't just leave him at my mum's every 5 minutes. But it is nice to have like help, you know, have some sort of help, which not, I know some people, they don't have a single bit of help, and I was like, that is tough. Like it is tough. Like you should offer to babysit.
Yeah,
it's good.
okay. Well, I was going to say, do you connect with like a lot of single mums from your like Instagram and stuff?
Yeah, like not as much on my Instagram, but I found in my community, like in my local community, a lot of mums, a lot of women. Actually, that's been the biggest thing, is women. I've never been so connected to women as I have been this year.
Amazing.
And they are all like, especially some women in the community, they're like their mums, and usually if their kids are older, they're like, they just want to help because they know, and
the
you're
struggle.
just like, I never felt like this before. I never had like that many females around me, so empowering, and I'm just like, wow, this is amazing, you know?
Yeah. I feel that so much because obviously like growing the community, the Woman Up community and the podcast, like I've made such good friends, and it's been like less than a year that I've been doing the podcast, and just like the connections that I'm making, sometimes I just can't even like hold my emotions in because I'm like, oh my God, like
it's beautiful. And that's how like we met through like the festival and stuff like that, and just all women empowerment, and it's just like, wow, you know, it's just a different life. Like I don't know where I was for my whole life, but I'm glad I found it, and just women supporting women, I'm here for it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're on the Woman Up podcast.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming. So I don't know if you know, but I always finish my interviews with the 3-3-3 game. So it's just 3 sets of 3 questions. So the first 3 are, would you rather? So would you rather beach yoga in India or countryside yoga in the UK?
Oh, beach yoga all day.
I wrote that one and I was like, this seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Okay. Lead a group of single mums or lead a yoga class for new mums?
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. I'm going to go with new mums, I think. Just because that first year is the hardest. I don't care. Teenagers, maybe correct me when I get there, but that first year for me was something you need help in that year. So I'll go for the new mums.
Okay, love that. And then okay, so Kismattu to feature in a fashion show or you to feature in a yoga festival?
Gosh. I'm going to go with my clothing brand for this one. Yeah,
okay.
because I just think the message behind it can, like me, it's not for me. It's the brand is to help so many other people. So I'll go with the clothing for that one.
Okay. Okay, the next 3 are finish the sentence. So as a single mum, I've learned that my greatest strength is...
Oh, patience. I didn't think I had the patience. But yeah, you find it somewhere.
Yeah, okay. My son inspires me to...
Keep going. Yeah, like even on like the hardest days, I see his face, I cuddle him, and he's like, and he goes, I missed you, Mum. I pick him up from something. He said, I missed you, Mum. Oh, my heart.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, in moments of doubt, I remind myself that...
This is a good one. So if I get nervous or something, and then I think, I went on a plane to India by myself, I can do anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what always like brings me back.
Yeah, not just that, but like you got pregnant, gave birth, like did everything.
And then I sit there and I go, I'm feeling nervous about this silly little thing. And yeah. So yeah, it's my story like inspires me, and sometimes I don't even think about it. You know, I don't think, I've done all these amazing things. I'll be sitting there in a moment like, I'm feeling like get problems, and I'm just like, I can do it. We can all do it. We can all do what we put our mind to, actually.
Yeah, love that. Okay, and then the last 3 are just random questions.
Okay.
So if you were an animal, what would you be?
Or a dog.
Oh, really?
I love dogs.
What type of dog?
Oh gosh, Dalmatians.
Oh, they're so beautiful. You don't see them that much.
Yeah, we had 2 Dalmatians in India. We had 7 dogs in total in India. They were street dogs, and then 2 Dalmatians, and like one was deaf. Oh my gosh, I miss them so much. Yeah, dogs.
I love that.
I'd love to be an Indian dog though. Yeah.
Okay. I have more than 3 on here, so I'm like trying to pick one. Okay. If you could magically acquire one new skill overnight, what would it be?
One new skill. Oh, that's an interesting one. That's a good question. I would like to have all my yoga knowledge already. I would be like, yeah, let's just go with that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it gives me, frees up my time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last one is our woman up question, which is, what 3 things do you love about yourself?
Oh, what 3 things I love about myself? I love my resilience. I just love I love the fact that I'm able to be in, like, I can read the room. Like, I'm very much in tune with myself, so it allows me to be in tune with other people.
Yeah.
I love that, and I just love like my kindness. Like, that's always got me into trouble, but I'm very genuine, and so I love that about myself. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. I'm going to sneak in another quick question. If like the viewer or the listener could take away one thing from you, what would you want it to be?
I would just like people to just know that being themselves is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to have, like, to be imperfect. It's okay, because we're all perfectly imperfect. And I think that gets lost, especially in a world of social media and, you know, being a woman, and you get all this,
So
like,
much comparison.
yeah. And I think, don't worry, it's okay. Like, it's okay. You don't have to have the perfect aesthetic all the time. You can just be you and be good at being you.
Yeah. I love that. I love this interview. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
I really
having
enjoyed
me.
it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, write us a review if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, and just do all the things. We really appreciate it. And I will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that's it for this week's episode of the Woman Up podcast. All the links and resources we mentioned in the episode will be in the description, no matter where you're listening or watching from. If you're listening or watching this on a podcast platform such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a review and follow the channel. You have no idea how much this helps to push out the podcast to a wider audience. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button for the same reason, and feel free to leave a comment, ask a question, or make suggestions. It really means the world to us, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.